Hi, Sue here from Mystic Matters. This episode of Exploring Popular Opinion, I'm going to be looking at masks and the whole issue around them, the energy around them. There's a lot of very definite opinions about masks, and we've got the people that believe that they're really necessary in order to protect ourselves and the rest of the people from the pandemic and COVID that we're going through at the moment. And there's other people who think that they're entirely unnecessary. They're dangerous because we're breathing in our kind of carbon dioxide and things, and so that they're physically dangerous for us to wear. And then there's people who think that it's like a government conspiracy to get us all into line and to kind of make us all kind of puppets. So we've got these different ideas that are going around. And emphasize, as I always do, that these cards are not my opinion. These are basically, I'm just reading what the cards are saying. So I'm doing the Celtic cross, which, as you can see, I'm taking the cards right now for the issue of masks. Let's see what the cards say about them. All right, we're starting off here with the Lovers card. This is a situation we're in at the moment, and it's about making mature decisions based on the fact that other people are affected by the choices that we make. So this is very much what masks are. You know, we might not want to wear them ourselves, but we could be putting other people in fear if we're close to them, and we don't know how that will affect them if they have maybe family to go back to, elderly relatives or children and things. So it is about taking responsibility and being aware that our actions have a knock-on effect for other people, whether we wear masks or not. And this is about having to work really very hard to keep ourselves ahead of the game, you know, and make sure that we work. It's putting a lot of energy in to what we do, the work we do, trying to improve ourselves, our projects. And I think what's happening as well, and the feeling I'm getting for this particular card, is that when it's our actions that are actually getting people around us to change their opinion of us. It's that kind of period that we're living through. We could have dear friends and family, and you know, if sometimes you wear a mask and your family members wonder why on earth you're doing it, and it's stupid, and they start to look at you in a different way. And then if there's people who are really worried about the virus and stuff, and they see people, either relations or friends, kind of blithely going around without a mask and not socially distancing and things like that, then they're going to have a different opinion of that person, and it can have a knock-on effect for that relationship going forward in the times ahead. People won't forget that. And I mean, if you don't wear a mask and you socially distance and you don't go close to anybody, that's you know, one way, that's one way. But if you're also getting up close up and personal with strangers without wearing a mask, it's going to make people look at you a bit differently, and that opinion might just have a kind of an impact on friendships and family relationships. What we're being asked to do is be in love with the life that we live. And that's kind of love the people around us as well, and doing things that we love. And so the thing is, masks are a piece of cloth we put over our face. It's not, they aren't, we're not being asked to kind of walk with crutches if they don't not necessary and things. And that's not a very good analogy of it, but it's, if we come from a position of love and respect for the people around us and things that we do, and if we focus on the positive things in our life, and then masks will seem not such a big deal after all. If we just have to wear a mask to go to the shops and things like that, then it's not going to be such a big deal if everything else in our life feels full of love and positivity. Is going to not be the major priority, the major focus of our lives, whether I'm going to wear a mask or not wear a mask. And it's become such an argument that it's kind of out of perspective in some ways related to the rest of our lives. The motivation here is there's a lot of confusion. People really don't know what to do. It's like they're drifting. It's like, shall I wear one? Don't I wear one? Again, does the virus really exist? Is it just the flu that people are making a big deal out of? Is it the government or any government trying to control us? What do we do? And this is, I think, the main problem. There's just a lack of faith and a lack of trust in us, so say leaders. And this lack of trust is also kind of affecting why people won't wear masks, or why they do wear masks. It's whether they have faith in the people telling them it's necessary or not. And there's a lot of confusion about it. It's not clear. It's not clear cut. It's not, I remember my mum used to tell me about her days as a teenager in the war, and she lived in Bristol, which was very heavily bombed. And she used to say that they'd have to do blackout curtains every night, and they set pitch black, so the planes, the enemy planes flying overhead, wouldn't see any light. They wouldn't know where to bomb. And it makes me think that this virus, if you said again, if you personally believe in it or not, this is invisible, so this is again where this confusion is. In the war, there was no confusion. That if you said, well, I want my freedom, I don't believe in the planes, I don't believe in the bombs, and you open your curtains wide and let the light shine out, often you might just get bombed. And by looking around what's the devastation, that it's a reality. So it was much more clear cut. It's not as clear cut now because people don't believe, they're not 100% convinced if this is real or not. Some people are, some people aren't. In the past, again, it comes out with an idea. It's a new idea about how to deal with the virus, but it's going back, I think, into what caused made masks could be considered necessary. It again goes from an idea of new things and how to do things in a new way, and people kind of not letting other people get involved and give an opinion. Hence, the virus started in the first place. It was kind of individuals not doing things with other people in mind, one way or another. Whether it was from a lab, whether it was people kind of having sick animals in a market, it's really and the spreading of it, people not understanding or wanting to do things their own way, or sometimes saying, well, there's nothing that I'm only one individual, I'm not going to make a difference. But if they're carrying something, then they do make a difference, and they can have an impact on many, many people. So it again comes from a place of people and their ideas get into all sorts of trouble. And I apologise, the sun's just popped in and I'm getting a bit dark here, but I will continue. If I fade into the background, I apologise. In the near future, we're talking about the world. It's an end of an era, it's a completion, and we will eventually be out of this period of time, whether we, of having to wear masks and things. It might not happen overnight, but there will come a time when we've done everything we need to do, and this isn't something we need to do anymore. It's like, do we stay with what we have or put our energies into something else? So it just feels that everything is it's not going to be that much longer, because I'm not talking so much about masks now, but the period after the masks, and it's like making choices now. What do we go into now? So masks. I'm suspecting, what I'm being told is that by time like June 2022 comes along, masks aren't going to be necessary. Now, timing is elastic, and the energy at the moment is what's saying June 2022. However, if people don't do what is necessary for the benefit of other people as well as themselves, then that could be a bit longer. But at the moment, that's the timeline. What people are noticing is that money and resources are coming in. So this is the rollout of vaccines and everything like that, and that is perceived as making masks eventually unnecessary. So this is what's being perceived, that we're getting money, resources, we're getting the vaccines and stuff like that, and this will change the whole situation. The hopes and fears. The hopes are of having a network of people, having support, and not being out on our own. So it's kind of a sharing of the resources. So if one community or one or country has got more than enough, then to give to the other countries that don't have more than enough. I was watching a YouTube channel earlier, and somebody who is very vulnerable They live in Minnesota, but North Dakota had more vaccines, and they had spare vaccines, and they just said anybody who can get to us, we will vaccinate. So they drove to get vaccinated in another state. And that's a kind of thing that I'm talking about, is kind of sharing of resources for the people that kind of want the vaccination and things like that. So this is about a kind of sharing. And at the end of the day, we need to follow our intuition. We need to follow our guidance. We need to look at life from that perspective a lot more, so that we never ever get into this situation again, so that people's intuition gets sharper. And so if they are working on things that are going to have devastating effect on other people, their intuition will shout at them and say, stop, this isn't the way to go. A lot of people get too much into their heads, and they shut their intuition, they shut their feelings down, and hence we get into situations that are disconnected with the planet, the people that are on it. So we do need to listen to our intuitions in the future to keep us safe. But masks said won't last forever. It's a short period of time. But also be aware that your decision whether to wear one or not will affect your the people and their opinions of you in the future. And that, I think, is the main message as well. Whether you wear them or not, that is going to be your legacy, I think, for a period of time. Anyway, I am definitely faded into the background. It's amazing how quickly it gets dark here when it decides to get dark. So I will leave you before, well, I am a disembodied face at the moment anyway, aren't I? But anyway, I hope that's been of interest, and I'll be back again with another one. Bye.